Rachel.
Rachel, I want to tell you the video you did was literally one of my favorite videos in the history of Autism Tree. Now, I don't want Francisco to think that I say that all the time. Francisco, if you watch Rachel's video, you will understand why I'm saying that to her. Rachel, do you mind if I tell him about your video?
Oh, yes, please. Yeah.
It really touched me because Rachel was only diagnosed with autism in April, correct?
Yes.
And
this year.
yeah, in her
This
video,
year.
I learned that she looked at foundations all over California and she found Autism Tree, and it really touched me. And I count it as a blessing, Rachel. It just means so much that you were brought to Autism Tree, and that that we could help you learn about autism and embrace your autism is something I sincerely count as a blessing, and I know that my husband does too. And I see Rebecca nodding her head. So it'll be one of our top 3 videos of all time. And I only say that because if you look up above at Francisco here, we're going to play one of his videos. And I love his video so much too, because it really captures his heart. And he was just learning English in 2016 when he did that video, and it was completely organic. It was just off the cuff. And I like that. I like when things are unscripted and people just talk from their heart. And I give him tremendous kudos because he was just learning the language. And I think we all understood him 100%. I was actually quite, a little icing on the cake because we had to really follow your, English isn't your first language. So the way that you express yourself was different. And I think that it really made it extra deep and touching, so. But anyway, Rachel, I just wanted to thank you for doing that video. It's one that we'll cherish forever, for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, I'll go ahead and get started and then just add people as they come in. So welcome to our Lunch and Learns. We're so excited to see all of you today. This has been a wonderful week so far. We were able to spend a lot of time with Francisco yesterday, but I'll get into that. Dana will get into that a little bit later. A couple Zoom rules for those of you who are new or who are returning or who haven't joined in a little while. Please mute yourself when you're not speaking. We recommend speaker view for presentation. Video sharing is optional, though we love to see all your smiling faces. And please type all questions and comments into the chat. You will have a chance to unmute yourself and ask any questions that you'd like, or you can type them into the chat and I can read them out for you. It's totally up to you what you're most comfortable with. We love to see how people are engaging in the chat. And so we really encourage that. Autism Tree, a quick update from us. We do this each week. We update our stats. We've done almost 100 of these Lunch and Learns. This is our 94th Lunch and Learn. We have 93 uploaded on our YouTube channel to date. They're a wealth of resources for parents and our community. We highly recommend you check them out. We've had such amazing guest speakers come on every single week and speaking from the heart. And it doesn't have to be about autism. It's just people who really care for our community and just moving forward and keeping everybody inspired and learning something new. So we highly recommend you check them out. We've reached already over 700,000 people on all of our social media channels, which has been amazing. So thank you for sharing and commenting on our posts. We see everything. We post every day. We love it. Since January of this year, we've already coordinated 141 family events, which I'm so grateful for. With 62 coming up between now and the end of the year, we are on track to be over 200, which is our average annually. So always check back. We have 2 to 5 events a week to get involved in, either virtually or in person. For families, most of them are on the weekends, so they're fun to sign up for. And we have limited space on some of them, so always keep checking back for all of our notifications for our new events on our calendars. We offer 19 programs, 12 are currently in person, and a few of those are hybrid as well. We definitely want to keep the hybrid mode going because as evidence of, our Global Neuroscience Conference and our guest speaker today, we have reached an international audience, and it's just been, we really want to continue that moving forward in Autism Tree. We have families from different states coming to our events. I love seeing people from all over the US participating virtually in our programs. We have 470 videos in addition to well, our lunch and learns are included in that total number, but we have a lot of other resources and wonderful videos from our parents that were submitted from parents, professionals in our community of what they worked for them with their kids during the pandemic. Please subscribe. We have all of our videos. We update them every single week. And if you can believe it or not, 412 of those videos were posted in 2020. So just within the past 2 years, we have had a large online presence. So we welcome you and welcome everybody to get involved in that. A special thank you to our Lunch and Learn sponsor, Cal Able. We have done, I think, 4 to 5 Lunch and Learns with them. So far to date, we highly recommend you check them out. Cal Able is a wonderful resource. It's a financial savings and investment program that helps you save money tax-free to pay for disability-related qualified expenses. And it's just, definitely learn more about it. You can visit their website, which is that link there. We also send the link to their Lunch and Learns and our in our recap email. There's lots more resources in that we'll send at the end of the week. And so without further ado, I'll pass it off to Zaina Hoff, our executive director. She'll introduce Francisco.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be here with you all and just to celebrate where we've come. I mean, it's incredible that when I was going back and preparing to see Francisco yesterday, Rebecca, do you know what happened?
I think your video went out.
What should I do?
Click the little video link on the bottom left. There we go.
It worked. I was preparing to see Francisco yesterday and to have him be honored last night by our board of directors and to just spend time seeing him in person after all this time. And what I did is I went back and I watched the Lunch and Learn, and I was just absolutely amazed because it was Lunch and Learn number 22, which was right when the pandemic had first started, which everyone then called the coronavirus, not COVID-19, those early days. And I just realized that I missed so much of what he was talking about. I think, because there was so much happening. And so even though I was trying to be present, there's just so much in the first number 22 Lunch and Learn that we did with Francisco coming in from Brazil. And here, what's so cool is right now he's here with us in San Diego. And I can't even explain to you why I love his video. It's like, I just need you to watch it because he's such a global visionary. And as much as I knew that, when I watched the video, I went, whoa. Between him and Dr. Motri, who has the undisputed largest autism lab in the world right here in San Diego, and is the chairman of our neuroscience conference, you just have two titans. I mean, you're looking at Francisco stuff and you're talking about artificial intelligence and an app and using all of, the family members' health data to help further connect them in the autism world. And so, Francisco is going to be talking about how the app he created, where he started and where he's at, but and also his magazine. He's a journalist and he's written a book, and we were really spending some time poring over the magazine that he created that is stunningly beautiful and is in Portuguese, which the community that I live in and Todd is, my husband is from, is a Portuguese community here in Point Loma. It was a fishing village way back when it was established. And so I'm really confident that there's a number of people right here in our zip code that I'm living in and San Diego that speak Portuguese and also are in the autism community. So You know, sometimes even when we try to be present, we can miss so much when we're dealing with a global visionary like Francisco. So in introducing him, it's just, I had to go back and reflect and listen to him. And just honestly, I can't even exaggerate how much I was blown away. And then the truth is, he was reaching out to Rebecca and I from Brazil saying, I'm coming in, and where can I go to volunteer? Which is the essence of Francisco. And we're going to show this video, and not right this second though. And John Hickey, who many of you know, who runs our football and baseball player mentor program since 2008 and has been with Autism Tree since 2005 and is a lighting and sound genius and made all of our ATPF events the magic, the thing that everyone remembers, just the energy, has a lot to do with his talent. And John Hickey was with us last night talking about Francisco when we honored him. And he called him the liaison, the Autism Tree liaison for the United Nations. And last night we had so much fun with Francisco naming all the different countries that he brought into individuals that he met in San Diego studying English when he was here in 2016 and 17. It was like, there can't be exaggerated. It was like 20 countries. If he wants to do that today, I so welcome it. Like, and in the photos that you'll see when we introduce him and everything with the, are we showing the photos when Francisco comes on, Rebecca?
Yeah, we have, I can show, I have the video first. So
Okay.
that.
Yeah, this is the essence of Francisco right here, and it just will forever light me up. It's one of my favorite videos in 20 years.
Right.
On the planet.
International friends.
International friends, yes, and they all volunteer. And Francisco recently helped us volunteering at an SPSU women's basketball game. They called us and they gave us free tickets for our families to go out. I was in a pinch and needed someone to help me, and of course he said yes. And he brought like 6 of his friends. And Aiko, you were there at the basketball game, right?
Yeah.
How was it? Was it awesome?
Awesome.
So Francisco's one of our hardest working volunteers. One time I asked him to come and help me unload the van, and he sent me a whole photo shoot of pictures of people smiling and unloading the van from the parking lot to the office. It's like one of my favorite things I have to say. So I have a butterfly award for you for all of your work. Thank you.
I'm glad to help, to be part of this, and because when I was in Brazil, I used to help people, to help family there, and here I was looking for a place to feel the same. And when I arrived here, I really felt the love from everybody here. And this you can transmit to the children, and really was amazing found here and be part of this, because for me it's like I was feeling incomplete when I was here and no helping, and when I was part of this was really good for me. It's amazing when I see the children there happy and in the programs. I feel I'm doing like something well, but they think that we are doing something to them, giving some to them, but no, they are giving some to us, and we feel really better and complete. Thank you so much.
I just love that video so much. Are we bringing up the pictures next?
Yes.
These are pictures from Francisco when he was volunteering. Those are him up top with his beautiful children, his son and his daughter. And next to that is actually more current with Rebecca and I working on stuff with Francisco on Zoom. And the one next to that is him volunteering, helping coordinate the families coming to a San Diego Padres game. And you saw from the far left, that's Lisa Kaufman, who was with Autism Tree for 12 years with Francisco. And next to that is a Giving Tuesday in the office with all of those people around are his friends that he brought in from other countries to help us with Giving Tuesday that day. And then the mind bender that I'm still trying to process, Francisco, is this photo. If you will look at it with me with the Christmas tree. In the front of it is his beautiful wife that we met last night, Priscilla. She's literally in the front right there wearing like light brown shirt. And it's so crazy. So I didn't remember meeting his wife. Well, the reason is because they hadn't met yet. They met here studying English and then went back to Brazil and got married. So it's just really incredible to me, all that happened during that time frame when we met Francisco in 2016 to now. And then the picture next to it is Vanessa, who was one of our paid interns for quite a long time and now has her BCBA. And then my son Garrett, who was 16 then and who's now away at law school. And then Francisco. So there's just so much history. And I think what's really sweet is that when the early days of the Lunch and Learn, this is how we used to do the intro, pulling pictures and things like that. And now that we've been doing it for this long and we're getting near 100 Lunch and Learns, we are not doing the same format that we did back then. And a lot of it is because we wanted to introduce people to a member of our Autism Tree family. And now we've branched out and we're expanding and having new people come on that are usually referred to us from someone in the Autism Tree family. So I'm so tongue twisted of that. Literally, Francisco started calling us and telling us he was coming to town. He wanted to volunteer. And then I'll show you the pictures of what he's doing with the Apple Store in Brazil. So this is pictures that you see of an event at an Apple Store in Brazil it's for families with children with autism. And these pictures are just precious. If you really look at what's happening with the children on the iPads, and just they all seem so calm and relaxed. And if anyone's ever noticed just the Apple Store in Fashion Valley here, it usually looks like a Disney ride. The line is like far beyond outside the door and into the mall. And here, Francisco's only been here 8 days, not 8 weeks, 8 days. And since he's gotten here, has coordinated for the first ever event at the Apple Store in Fashion Valley to have a special event for children with autism. It's going to be a small group and it's going to be incredible. I can't even tell you how excited I am that Francisco's opened this door for our families is truly remarkable. And it's everything we're trying to do as we move forward in to our 20-year anniversary of having over 200 teenagers that we're trying to open doors every day to have them have the most fulfilling opportunities. And and that includes every person involved with Autism Tree. I want to give a shout out to Jeff Snyder, who's on here and has been hugely involved almost every Lunch and Learn that we've done since the pandemic started. And I want you to know, Jeff, that last night when Francisco was just talking and we were connecting and just catching up, and he brought up that he follows you on social media and is just so blown away by you. And we were just talking about, I think, the migration of the neuroscience conference, because Francisco can speak about it more, but he is going to be meeting with Dr. Motri, our chairman of our neuroscience conference, next week. And they've always been working together, and they're both from Brazil. And just extraordinary things are happening. And I welcome us to keep opening every door. And I feel like grateful isn't strong enough to say how thankful I am for the commitment, the passion, and just the genius that you bring to Autism Tree, Francisco, is not overstating it. It's actually understating it. I can't think of a word strong enough for what you have accomplished since I met you in 2016. And I must say that as an individual, I feel like you make me want to keep learning even more. Like the fact that you're out here with your wife studying English for a month is something I think we can all value, that life is a lifelong learning process. And sometimes that's not something that we all take seriously. Like when you go and study English in another country for a month, that's that's study. That's like lifelong learning. You know, I don't think we can say we're learning when we're, you know, a lot of things that the world wants to say is a learning experience. I don't know, you know, like reality TV, all these different things. I don't count that. When you like come from Brazil to America and you study English for a month, that counts as lifelong learning. And I really love that kind of quality. And that's the kind of quality that we're trying to build here at Autism Tree, because we need that kind of quality in order to have quantum leaps for our children and families, because it's complicated. As we all know, autism is, if you met one person with autism, you met one person with autism. So this is why having, you know, a foundation that's built by genius minds is incredibly important. So with that, I want to say, Francisco, there's no way to exaggerate how truly brilliant you are. And yet your heart is bigger than your brain. And that's just sort of everything. So thank you.
Oh, I thank you guys. It's a huge pleasure for me. And it's an honor you guys having me here. And you guys, as I said yesterday, will always be my second home, my second family here, because I consider you guys like my family, like my family. And I couldn't come to here and don't talk to you guys, don't do something, don't volunteer, don't think about when I came. And I started the partnership with Apple Store in Brazil. And the second thought was, why not in San Diego? I'm going to there and I can to put effort there to make things happen and connect Autism Tree with Apple Store and open one more door to them, open one more door to autistic people. I think it all the time it's organic for me. All the time I think, what could I do to make the world more inclusive, make the world better for autistic? I think it in my son, obviously, but I think in all autistic people, because I know if you have a better world, we have a better human being and a better society. Thank you guys for this opportunity.
Thank you, Francisco. We're so excited to learn from you today. You can take it from here. Share whatever you want to share with our community.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna share my screen here. Could you guys see?
Yes,
that?
It looks good.
Okay. Okay. And as Dana said, 2 years ago, it was in September. 2 years ago, I was talking with you guys about Autism Me. It's an app that I'm running, and it's a challenge to have an app to exclusive dedicated to autism. But I'm keep going with this challenge and making something better. And 2 years ago, we were launching a beta version of the app just for tests. We need some invitations and something like that. But now we have the final 1.0 version, and we released that. And I'm gonna show some screens and some things for you guys. And let me start with Dana said perfectly who I am, but just to say quickly, and I'm very glad to have found Autism Tree in San Diego, because became my home, became my family, and it was very useful for me to keep in touch with the cause, keep in touch with autistic kids and families and adults. And it was I had a very pleasure time here in San Diego because of Autism Tree mainly. And I wrote a book in Brazil, which was which was sold for it's almost 6,000 copies now sold. And it's talking about the signals of autism to make the families and people more aware about what is autism, and driven the guys to diagnose and start the treatment or whatever they need. And it was launched in 2012, and until now I get emails from families, from professionals, and they thanking me because of the book, because they say it's a very accessible language, very simple words. It's not a technical like a doctor book. And it's very important in Brazil because we have not too much education there, and that could be more inclusive for all the population. Doesn't matter what the social status they have. And I co-founded, and I am the editor-in-chief of Revista Autismo, which is a free magazine on autism in Brazil, which is the only one in Portuguese in the world. And it's the only one in any language in Latin America. And it's a free magazine because I think we have to give information as much as we can to everybody, and that's why it's a free magazine. And I can talk a little bit about the magazine. And I'm father of two kids, Giovanni and Samantha. Giovanni is 15 years old. He is autistic. Samantha is not autistic. She is 13 years old. And Giovanni, I saw some signals of autism in Giovanni when he was 23rd month old. And one friend of mine, he said to me, I was talking to him, and I said to him, "Oh, Giovanni don't talk, don't speak, but I think he has he's struggling not just about talking, but about communication. No, he can't communicate properly." And my friend said to me, "Have you ever read something about autism?" It was maybe the first time that I heard autism in related to my life. No, I've heard something about autism before, but just some commercials in TV or something like that. But I didn't know what exactly was. And that was the start of my journey in autism world. And it was so remarkable, as I know the exact date that we happened was March 26th of 2009. Yeah. And since that, I started to research, to search, to study a lot of things about autism to help my son. And when his treatment was like guided and defined, and the things was going better, I was thinking, oh, I had a lot of information. I'm a journalist. I have to do something to other people, to the society. It was when the idea came out the idea of writing a book came out. And after that, I realized that a book in Brazil could be a kind of expensive, because we don't have a big market for book in Brazil. And I thought, oh, I could do a magazine, maybe a free magazine. I don't know if it's possible. No one said to me it would be impossible. That I did. I started. And maybe 2 or 3 months after, we realized that is the only one in Latin America and the only one on autism in Portuguese in the world. And it was in 2010, a bunch of years ago. And we still doing this magazine and publishing this magazine. This is the last issue we had, which I brought as a gift to Autism Tree yesterday. And the cover is Autism in Angola, which is in Africa. And we try to show to people a lot of information about autism, obviously, but we try to show different situations, different places, because it's so different being autistic in Brazil and being autistic in the US or in Angola, because we are surrounded by different accessibility, different society, different culture that affects profoundly how is the life of everybody. Mainly, if you have some issues or some disabilities or whatever, autistic people needs to struggle more sometimes than typical people. And we talk a lot in my magazine, and in a genuine way, because we have autistic columnists, we have autistic journalists, we have autistic illustrators, and obviously we have as well parents and specialist professionals, and between we have the intersection between them. No, someone is parent, is autistic, and is a specialist sometimes. And this cover is very special because it was made by a guy. He is autistic and he is father of an autistic boy, and he's very talented, both of them. But the guy that designed this cover is really a guy that used to help a lot of people in using his talent to show and to aware people about autism. That's very important. Oh, and one more information. And I do the magazine printed and digital. Why? Because Brazil has 1/3 of its population with no access to internet. Can you imagine that? For us, when we are here in Zoom and talking online, it's almost impossible to imagine how could be the life of someone nowadays with no internet access. So it's very important to me. I know, I think here and in Brazil, we have a lot of magazines closing the doors, a lot of magazines stopping printing and going online, just online. But for me, it's very important to do that in Brazil, because I know some people has the only resource of information about autism sometimes is this magazine. That's why it's so important to me. And I do some partnership with airlines and company of transport to make sure that magazine could reach all the country, all the states in Brazil for free to everybody that needs this information. That's why it's very important to me. So, talking quickly about Autismo Me, it's a platform for autism, dedicated to autism, and featuring a social network, vertical social network just about autism, like LinkedIn as for corporate. And the goal is organize and structure the health data and information of autistic people and their families. And we try to make sure that information could be together. We can compile the information and use this information as a benefit for autistic people. That's the main goal here. And as I said, we developed the beta version 2 days ago. We developed a lot of beta versions after that, like going better and better and growing the app and testing and solving the problems, the bugs and everything. And now we have a final version. So before I talk about the final version, I have to say that we have using their artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning to compile the data there and to connect people by their characteristics, by genetic informations, by the profile. And we were made by designed by privacy, because since the beginning we know the importance and how valuable is your privacy. And we have a lot of laws in Europe, in California, and in Brazil as well, and talking about privacy. But we don't need law to value this kind of asset. No, security and privacy for us comes first. And we have some innovations for autism. It's, as I said, the Autism Vertical Social Network and health data structuration and organization. High advanced genetic information about ASD, which is unique in the world. And we are developing a system of reputation and reliability, and to make sure that a post is really reliable. And we using this tools of technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning for compile this data and put everything together in an organized way. So we are doing this for Brazil and for the US, in Portuguese, in English at the same time. And we are developing now a new tool, which is a research tool. It's a pro research tool, which is, let me say an example to you guys, I think could be more clear. And sometimes a scientist wants to do a research, and they have such a narrow profile, you know, a specific profile that, such as, for example, and they need girls from 6 to 12 years old and with autism, and they are doing music therapy, and they had some issues with talking and learning. It's hard to scientists to find this profile, this so specific profile. So our intention is to have the data of a lot of autistic and families, and the scientists have their goal. We put in this pro research tool, and we can notify people that has the same profile, that match with what the scientists are looking for, and we can notify them, and oh, you have a profile that matches with the scientists we're looking for. Do you want to connect with him? Do you want to talk to him or something like that? The scientists could not see who will match, but who matches could see who is the scientist and connect to him. That's the idea. And we think if we success with this challenge, we can make research for autism more popular, more easier, and we can like see this kind of work in science grow quickly. So now the final version of the app don't need invitation. No invitation is needed, and it's just download from App Store or Google Play. It's tismo.me, tismo with and you can have in your cell phone, and you can help me to gather a lot of people there, because the more we have data there, the more we can do better things for science, for society, for autistic people, for benefit this population, I think. So that's what I had to talk to you guys. And Dana said about Apple Store, it was amazing for me seeing this happening here, because I think could be a huge connection, and it will start with one store, a small group, but it's this is just the first session, the first event. I think we will have a lot of, and they can spread out this for whole California, maybe the whole country, and I don't know. They, I think this kind of session could encourage the guys to embrace autism more, and to make the places everywhere more accessible and more inclusive for the world. Oh, that's it. Who wants to follow me and social media? I have Tismo Me profile, and my personal profile, it's Paiva Jr. And thank you guys. I love you both.
Francisco, I'm so excited. I downloaded it on my phone.
Nice.
I think before, I don't know, but now it's for sure there. I'm so excited about it. It's incredible. I would have absolutely loved to have this when my son Garrett was young.
Mhm. It's so incredible.
Like, wow.
Yeah, I'm so impressed, and thank you for sharing it with us again. And it's amazing to see that 2 years ago, you presented the same thing, but it's grown so much and you've made so much progress on it.
If I can put it on my phone like that, anyone can. Because I'm not techie, but that was so easy. And I just think of all the binders. I mean, binders upon binders upon binders. Every mother I know has all of their IEPs and medical records for to prepare for their IEPs. It's just binders and binders and binders of data. A lot of times I see mothers posting when they're cleaning out their garage. Like Sandy Anderson has a garage of boxes because Joel's turning 30 and she has 2 sons that are on the autism spectrum. So I think having this app and how easy it was to just put it on, you've come so far in the last 2 years of that, making it easy for the user is incredible. Like it literally happened in like seconds.
Yeah, that's the goal, to make something easy and useful. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
I mean, literally, it's transformational. You're you know, a genius and doing something that is so needed. I just, whatever we can do to get all of our Autism Tree families using this app, I think that it'll make their lives easier in ways I can't even imagine. I mean, it's so much money to print binders to get ready for whatever you need. That's another thing. It costs thousands of dollars to do a lot of these binders, especially if you're having to have a team. At one point, I had like 17 people on my IEP team with all the therapy for early intervention. And I have photos of the team. So imagine how much that costs to give everyone a binder. Now you could just share the app.
That's it. That's it. That's the goal.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is that as long as Autism Tree has been around for 20 years, we constantly have always gotten requests that are very specific, which you addressed in your presentation both times, of asking for our families to participate in a research study. So it'll come through Autism Tree asking, will you guys participate in this study? and it'll say exactly what they need. I mean, probably the most requests have come from UCSD because our first fundraiser, Monday Night Football with Doug Flutie, that we did to start Autism Tree 20 years ago when Doug Flutie was the San Diego Charger. We did it at the Hilton Torrey Pines. Every single penny went, we raised over $60,000, and it all went to autism research at UCSD and Dr. Doris Trauner's lab. And so, you know, we've always been involved with research, and that's why I can't overstate that we're always asked to do research. So what Francisca's saying is now it's so much easier to participate with your family member who has autism in a research study is incredible. It really streamlines that relationship, which for people that are doing research and on a grant, they have a tremendously hard time fulfilling the work that they're doing. It's not easy to get families to sign up at all.
And that can improve science, no? That can improve the science and the research for autism. That's the idea. Yeah,
and it's brilliant because none of the families have time that's required, and now you're removing that barrier of time. They don't have to get in their car. They don't have to, you know, go and maybe even photocopy a binder or who knows what. But the requirements have been extensive, and now you just removed a large portion of that. So phenomenal. Like I said, just you're a genius.
You
and Dr.
are always generous. You are always generous with your words for me.
I'm not always generous. I really see that you're a genius. I don't say every person that comes on. Jeff, do I say everyone's a genius that comes on Autism Tree? I don't introduce anyone the same way. I really value what you're doing, and I see that it's groundbreaking, it's transformative, and you know, you're taking your genius mind and really doing something that's going to change the world in a very important way. And you can't even list them all. It's like in ways we don't even know.
That is true, yes.
Thank you, Jeff. I just wanted everyone to know I don't over exaggerate people. I just illuminate them.
And I'm curious, Francisco, do you know of any other people in the world who have an app like yours?
No, I didn't see. That's why I came out with this idea, because if I haven't seen something like that, I would to help them, not to create from zero, you know, because we have to get together to be stronger.
Yes. You just captured the essence of what we're trying to do. And I love that so much. And it just dovetails into our neuroscience conference too, because we have, we're planning a diversity and autism research panel, and diversity is so important to us. And I love that you brought up how, you know, we do need families to sign up for these research studies in order for everyone to be represented and for us to make, you know, quantum leaps in the directions that we want to go. And I think it's incredible that you're offering this app to both the US, people in the US and Brazil. And that also brings me to another question I have, which is what I want to hear from your perspective. You did mention that, you know, because of in terms of accessibility and culture and society, for autistic individuals, their experiences are different in different countries. What are some of the top differences you've seen between Brazil and the US, since you have had some experience from being in both countries?
Oh, I could say to you two important points. And one is diagnose. I think here you guys have much more accessibility for diagnose than in Brazil. We have, I think, more prepared doctors, medical doctors here. And I heard a lot of stories of Brazilians that they came to the US to live, and they went here with 1 or 2 kids. And in Brazil, they went in a lot of doctors, and everybody said that everything is normal. Your kid is developing in a right way, no worries. But when they came here, when the first doctor saw, they said, "Oh, I suspect that your kid could be autistic." In the first view, at a first glance. And that's a very common story that I heard from families that they moved from Brazil to the US with kids with the kids are 2 years old, 3 years old, or 4. And so I think in Brazil we have to struggle more to get a diagnosis, and I think we spend more time to reach the autism as a diagnosis. And second point, I would say that education is another barrier, and I think the United States is a country more prepared for getting in the schools autistic people. I think in Brazil we are like 10 or 15 years behind you guys, and we have some laws that enforce schools to accept autistic in the schools there, and regular school. But I think here you are more advanced than us. I think these 2 points shows me a huge difference of being autistic in Brazil or being a family with an autistic kids in Brazil and here in the US.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for answering that. Oh, I'm so glad, Rachel. Thank you for typing something in the chat, and you're welcome to unmute yourself. I also wanted to ask her if she had any thoughts, because Rachel's originally from South Korea, and she said the same thing is an issue from South Korea. Many adults who suspect that they're on the spectrum can't even have access to evaluation because of the wait list. I've heard that adults have to wait for 2 years just to get an evaluation. Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, but for me, since I am in America, I was able to make an appointment and got an evaluation right away. So I think, yeah, I'm just really glad that I'm in America. Yeah.
And remind me, Rachel, how long have you been in America so far?
Oh yeah, I've been in America for 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you still have family in South Korea?
Yes, I do. And I have my aunt in New Jersey, so we visit each other sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We have so many connections to the East Coast in New Jersey due to our conference. We're actually going to have a speaker from the New Jersey Autism Center there. Dana, correct me. But,
No, you're right. You're right. If you get a parking ticket or a moving violation in the state of New Jersey, you pay whatever. Some of it goes back. I believe it's $1 for each of those moving violations or parking ticket goes back to the Autism Center in New Jersey. And the reason is, well, that has gotten a lot of attention on it because autism, that's where the highest autism rates are in the country. The entire United States of America is in New Jersey. And Dr. Elizabeth Torres runs the Autism Center for New Jersey. So she's been a keynote before. She's worked in some of the labs out here in La Jolla at the Salk Institute. She's highly respected by our chairman and our moderator of our conference, Dr. Allison Motry and Roger Bingham. So yeah, there's a lot going on in New Jersey. You had it right, Rebecca.
thanks. Yeah, and I have to say, I bring it back to Francisco and Brazil. We've been promoting our conference for the past, couple months on our social media very hard. And as of today, I mean, it was very important because our chairman is from Brazil. He wants to that's why he wanted to do it virtually last year. And to date, we've had almost 90,000 views and a high from 11 different countries around the world. And we've been promoting our conference, and we have, I think, almost 100 people registered for our conference. And a majority of them are from Brazil. I have to say, like 60% of Brazilian families have already signed up to tune in online for our conference. So we're just so blessed to be able to do a hybrid model this year and have it in person and virtually, so we can include these families who want to know so much about autism research and what's the latest world-renowned research. And we're so excited Dr. Motri is going to be our keynote. And how amazing is it that, Francisco, you've worked with Dr. Motri for how long now?
Dr. Motri became a friend. No, I met him in 2010, and I was in the beginning of the magazine. And I have to say that to you guys because I heard about him in the most popular breaking news in Brazil on television. And when I saw him, I thought, oh, I have to be in contact with this guy. This guy could be amazing things for autism as a cause, as society and everything. And I tried to reach him, and it was so easy because he's a gentleman, you know, and he responded me quickly. And we scheduled to talk by phone. That time we didn't have a lot of tools like Zoom, like easy when we can easily talk seeing someone. And he called me from his lab, and we talked by maybe for almost 2 hours. Was a big conversation, a big interview that I published in the next issue of the magazine at that time. And I started to keep in touch with him and know the news. And so we became friends. I chose San Diego to come to learn English because of him. That was my reason to come here, that I have someone that I know here, that's my friend. And it was amazing when I get here and I found you guys. And he is one of the reasons and that connect us indirectly. And Dr. Motri is a really I think he is one of the top 5 or the top 3 neuroscientists and on autism. And he is the big star. He is the genius. He is the man, you know. And when I start to do something with partnership with him, things started to happen, you know, but good things. All the good things started to happen. And I appreciate his work a lot because I think he is very how can I say, he don't give up, never give up, and he is very creative in science. That's why I think you guys will have a very good conference and having him as a keynote. And we did some publications in Brazil about that. I think that's why we have 60% of Brazilian families signed up that, because I did some publication, and I will do more. Sorry to fool your house with Brazilians, but yeah, and we can do more and more, because I think we will be stronger as we get together more and more openly. And when you give opportunity for autistic people talk, autistic people speak by themselves, I think we are in the right direction to go to a better place.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you and everyone here for really pushing out our registration link, because you all have social networks, and a lot of you have social networks in different countries, and you're our United Nations, Francisco. So we really appreciate the amount of work that we're putting into the conference. We can't exaggerate. It's a lot of work. But we really want to make sure that everyone comes, and certainly it'll be recorded, but it sure is nice, I think, to do it when it's happening. And we really would love people to come in person if they can too. But if they can't, we're recording it, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
I loved hearing how you met. I did not know that you met in 2010. I did not know that.
Yeah,
It's
a long
amazing.
time ago.
Yeah, before I met him in 2013, I think. And he wasn't in the lab that he's in now.
You know what? I met his wife before they get married, and before I met him in a workshop of iPad for autistics that I used to do in Brazil. Crazy,
Wow.
crazy things.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so looking forward to everyone that gets to participate in the see. And if you want to see Francisco, he's going to be here at the Apple Store. So I hope you get to meet him. Are we going to do? It's already 1 o'clock. Are we going to stay, or are we going to go?
I think it's time. I want to be respectful of everyone's time.
Okay.
And if anybody has any follow-up questions, please reach out to us. Please reach out to Francisco. We can connect you with him. He's been so wonderful. Thank you, Francisco. And I'd love to take a group picture before we go. So if you'd like to turn on your camera, we'd love to see some of your faces.
Thank you, Francisco. You made a quantum leap on your presentation. I mean, just that I could download it so quickly was amazing to me.
Thank
I'm so
you.
excited about your app.
When is the Apple event?
Pismo me.
Definitely. Is that Emily? Hi, Emily. Yes, I'll send it to you. It's next Friday, which is the 23rd, I believe. Yes, the 23rd from 5:30 to 6:30. The flyer that I showed originally said 5:30 to 6, but Francisco told me last night he extended it to an hour, so we're really excited. And it's going to be a small group, so definitely sign up.
Everybody share your screens if you would. We're with a rock star who's all the way from Brazil today. If you can, please show this is all historical. Love to see your face, Joy and Angie. This is like a tradition every lunch and learn. So if you can.
Love it. We welcome it. All right, do it.
Okay.
Down. And Joy's like, I'm on the wrong computer. She needs a camera. All right. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Awesome. This was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank
Francisco.
you.
Inspiring. And I hope everyone has a beautiful week.